This afternoon, a judge is set to consider a motion by the defense to withdraw from the case of Linda Lambert. Lambert is one of two people accused of murder and robbery in connection with the death of a man from Biddeford. Lambert and Garrett Labonte are accused of shooting and killing Jean Dares in September of 2024. Today's hearing is taking place in York County.
All state and federal flags will be lowered in Maine today in honor of Andrew Cross. Cross was a volunteer firefighter who died in the line of duty during the explosion at Robbins Lumber Mill last week. According to his obituary, Cross's memorial service is scheduled for 1 o'clock this afternoon at Veracity Chapel in Morrill. The family asked that instead of flowers, any donations can be made to the Morrill Fire Department in Cross's name. He's described as an outdoorsman and someone who was active in his community. Cross was 27 years old.
Hundreds of people gathered in Belfast yesterday to pay tribute to Cross's service and sacrifice. A visitation was held during the evening. Buses dropped off community members and multiple firefighters and other first responders. Friends say Cross balanced overnight shifts at Bath Iron Works with serving his community as a firefighter in Morrill. Augusta Fire Chief David Groder says while he didn't know Cross personally, this is a reminder of the dangers of the job and how quickly first responders come together when one of their own is lost in the line of duty.
The mentality that we have is that we're going to help protect property and lives, and then unfortunately sometimes bad things happen. They always call it a brotherhood or a sisterhood. We're one family, and then the families break down within your organizations. So people just feel indebted that they need to show their appreciation for his service, his dedication.
Investigators from the Maine Fire Marshal's office also paid their respects yesterday. In a statement, the agency said, "We continue to extend our heartfelt condolences to his family, fellow firefighters, and all those affected by this tragedy." Mental health experts and first responders say that the emotional impact of the Searsmont fire will be felt for a long time.
They're making sure that anyone who is impacted knows that support is available. Professional Firefighters of Maine offers a list of vetted mental health providers to first responders across the state. They also provide peer support services as well. The nonprofit, the Toned Out Project, helps cover the cost of counseling and connects first responders to wellness resources.
There are resources. We're, as a mental health professional, we're all communicating, we're talking, we're offering support, we're gathering resources together for the first responder community always, not just with this incident, but we have opportunities for them to get support in many different ways.
And first responder or not, if you do know someone who is struggling with their mental health, or if you are yourself, help is available. You can call the Maine Crisis Line at 1-888-568-1112 or reach the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by dialing 988.
As for the investigation into the Searsmont fire, officials say crews spent yesterday working on scene excavation, evidence recovery, and interviews. They say so far investigators have sifted through hundreds of cubic yards of sawdust and sorted through debris. A crane arrived yesterday to help with that, and they say a second is expected to arrive today.
And the fire could also have huge impacts on the logging industry.
Everybody's got some robins in their warehouse.
The Robbins Lumber Mill buys from more than 100 logging contractors and supplies lumber products to dozens of businesses throughout the state. Contractors who normally send wood to Robbins may have to find other mills. That could add trucking costs, especially as the price of diesel remains high. Staff at Balanced Forestry say that they've been working with the Robbins family for more than a decade and rely on them heavily for lumber sales. They and other business owners say that the temporary closure of the mill could leave a hole in the industry.
When you're that close to a mill, it is a expense to try to turn and pivot to other mills at farther distances. Trucking costs, diesel fuel being so high right now, all of that goes through the roof. So it will really be probably trying to avoid removing some of those products for a while until we get a better feel for what we're dealing with, what the future might hold.
Hammond Lumber has announced that it will be donating $100,000 to help support the Robbins family and others impacted by the fire.